So next step is going to be adding these buttons and also adding this add button. So we can come to the codes. Here you can see that our text is the child, and in order to change it we can use the column because we want to add the buttons below this add to chart text. So that's why I will wrap the text inside of the, for example, column, and here as a second element I have the row. Inside of this row we can add our icon button, and here on press of it nothing is going to happen, so we can use the text, and here we can just say plus, and also we don't need the constant here. And let's see what's happening. So plus icon is added, but we just want to add background to this button. So the size of the button is very small, so that's why first of all we can add the style to this button, and button style, here there is a background color and we can say colors.green. Problem is we cannot provide the color itself. Instead of this we have to provide the material state property. Now as you see the plus icon is added, and we can also change the color of it, and we can just basically change the color of the text just like that. Now we can add the constant values. Here we have to have another text as a second element of the row, so that's why here I'm just going to add a text, and that's gonna be 1. So lastly we will need another icon button, so that's why I'm just going to take the icon button and add it just like that. Here instead of the plus I will add the minus. Now we get something like this. The minus button should be red. Secondly, there should be some space between the buttons, so that's why here I will add my size box, and width is going to be 10 for example, and also I'm gonna add it after the text. So here we have that. Secondly, alignment in this row is start, so we have to change it. Main axis alignment, as you see it is start, so we're gonna say center. Now as you see we get this. We have to add another size box just like this, so maybe we can increase that. That's it. Let's add the constant values. Then after the row, where is it? So here is the row. After row we will just add another button, so that can be text button, for example, text button. So on press of this nothing is gonna happen currently, and the text is gonna be add. So maybe I will change the text to elevated button. Now as you see we get this button, and also I will get this size box from here, and after the row I will add the size box. Now let's see our original design. So that one is different, as you see, so there is no any problem. We just need to change this count between these two, and that's not necessary, but I will do that. So here this text we can place it inside of the circle avatar, so circle avatar, and there is a background color which is gonna be white, and there is a radius which is gonna be, for example, 10. Now that's not enough, very big, so 20 is great. Now we get the design. Okay, now let me restart application, and firstly we get the problem. Problem is these elements should be added to this column when the button is clicked. Basically, on the gesture right over here, we are forwarding the animation, okay, but also before forwarding the animation, we have to hide these buttons. And now if I click to that, as you see, there is no problem, but before clicking on the button, we have to hide these elements. So how can we achieve this? We basically can control this by using a boolean flag. So here we can define a boolean which is gonna be is clicked, and that's gonna be false by default. And I'm gonna take this and I will say, if you want to show these elements, so we have to make sure the button is clicked. That's why I will take the elements below the text, so size boxed, row, another size boxed, and the elevated button. So I will just cut them and place them inside of the column children, and here I will add them as you see, and then here for this column I will just say is clicked. So if the button is clicked, basically show them. Now as you see, before clicking the button there is no any elements. So if I click to that, on top of this button we just have to say is clicked is equal to true, or maybe we can say is clicked is just the reverse. Okay, now if I click to the button, as you see, it is working. But the problem is we are getting the error. So if I have to open the debug console, you will see that on click of that button, we are getting the issue. Render flex overflowed by 130 pixels on the button. So that is happening because these elements are not scrollable. So if they are not scrollable, that problem is gonna happen. That's why we have to take our column, so that is the outer column which contains the add to chart text, also the buttons and the add button. So all of them are inside of this column, and we just need to get the column and wrap it inside of single child scroll view. And now if I try again and if I open the debug console, as you see, we are getting no any problem. As you see in this original version, the color of this text is blue, so we can change it. Here we can get the color from the container itself. Here we have the light blue color, so I will take this, and here for the add button I'm just going to change the style of it. So style is just going to be text style, and the color is gonna be this color. So the problem is the constant value. Now as you see, the color is changed, and if you want you can also change the font weight to get greater result, maybe 800. Okay, now we are done with the first step. First step was just increasing the height of this container, and the second step is gonna be adding the flip animation on this add button. Okay, so let's go back to original version. As you see here, on click of this add button, this button is basically flipping 360 pixels. So it is doing the full rotation, and after the rotation you can see that color of the button is changing to green, and after that height animation is resetting itself.